Frank, we're here at Minds and Money in London. What are your thoughts on some of the gold talks that are coming out of the conference?
I've really enjoyed them, and I'll tell you something that's interesting. There weren't that many people for some of the best presentations. The negativity, the sentiment is so weird for me. However, the presentations are home runs. You know, knock the ball over the park. Very compelling reasons on gold to silver, gold to money supply, gold that is so undervalued. And here gold is up almost 12% in US dollar terms this year, and it's like it's a bad investment, and it's 2 times the S&P in performance since 2000. So long term, short term, gold has done spectacular well, but the sentiment is negative. And I think it's because the GDXJ really hurt a lot of the gold stocks. It was like getting punched by Mike Tyson and your ear bitten. It doesn't heal quickly. So they brought in $5 billion, they blew out $3 billion, and what does it do for investors? It sets up the stage for very compelling reasons for a big reset button in the new year for gold stocks. They have free cash flow, very different from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And so they will start to show up on the radar screen on many different types of funds.
What are you seeing in terms of opportunities for investment into gold?
I think that when we look at junior gold stocks, we like, I'm biased because I launched the first smart beta in Canada for gold stocks, and it's called GO. And it's an ETF, and it has the 3 major royalty companies. It looks for values per share, and it's outperformed the GDXJ going back 10 years. It's outperformed 94% of the time in a rolling 12-month period. So that excites me as a balanced way. But individual names, Klondex is so cheap with free cash flow, and there's some other Leah Gold is also inexpensive relative, and I think that these stocks will all have a big new reset button. Now the other really interesting commodity is copper for me.
Okay.
And copper has rebounded, but it doesn't really get just like gold. It's not getting that enthusiasm, but the metal is rebounded, and if you love Tesla, and you believe in cryptocurrency mining, that means you need cheap electricity, and that means you need a lot of copper. So they're going to have a huge electrical build out on the grid for electrical cars, electrical buses, etc. Then you need a lot of copper. And there's no big major discoveries like the gold space. There is peak gold, there is peak copper, and so I think you need to have much higher copper prices to ignite, and we're going to see M&A work, and my favorite junior is Copper Bank. It is a small market cap. Gianni, the CEO, throws out nickels like the manhole covers. He's very frugal, and it has huge optionality. So some of those assets he has can go up exponential as copper rises, and he'll sell them or try to monetize them in some form or fashion. And Ross Beatty did it in the last cycle. So I think Copper Bank's a great way to play that space.
It's interesting, we spoke with Gianni talking about declining grades in copper. You know, it is getting lower. How do we work with that?
Well, I just think the fact is that when it happens, it explodes, and all of a sudden everyone runs over and says, well, what's happening here? And they start jumping in, and you have to be positioned. There's a trend going on, but you need this sort of pivot move that all of a sudden the world wakes up. I believe it's going to happen with gold. I believe that peak gold has taken place. Supply is going to slow down, it's going to drop, and the government's continue to print paper money, fiat money, and that's another reason why Bitcoin has taken off. It's only 10,000 coins in the marketplace. It can go to 21, but there's been many coins lost, so 10 million is the market, and more users means it's going up exponentially, or paper money is declining, and all of a sudden you get a reset button for gold. Interesting enough, talking to Rick Rule, he said that a lot of his new accounts are coming from Silicon Valley, who are diversifying into gold and silver. So I think we're going to get this new wake-up call, and this whole grid build-out, my safest bet is no doubt copper.
Excellent. Thank you again, Frank.